Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from. So it's 10 o'clock and our gardeners have just arrived. So if you hear a bunch of noise, that's what that's all about. Um, the good news is they're usually done in about 10 to 15 minutes. So hopefully there's not too much noise and we can get through this. So hang in there with me. Good times. We have lots of stuff to chat about today, including something that's personally affecting me right now, which is very, very annoying. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Here's our topics for the day. So suffice it, hitting is regarding WestJet. I'm not very happy with them at all, but we'll get into that in a bit. Beautiful sunny day. We are still getting great weather here in Vancouver, as predicted. Our summer wasn't super, super hot. I mean, we had a few days of super hot weather, but other than that, uh, it was pretty temperate summer, which usually means that we get a really great September, and this has been no exception this year. It's been beautiful and nice. But I'm curious if everybody else is starting to see the change in the temperatures now that we are officially into fall. So let me know what's your weather like where you live. Are you into the rainy season? If you live in Calgary, you've probably seen some snow already. Yeah, let me know. Or are you still walking around in shorts and strapless t-shirts like me? um, yeah, it's been really good. Oh, I totally forgot. I was going to show you the salmon. Okay, I'll be back in 2 seconds. I get the salmon out of the fridge and I'll show you. Bear with me. So, still talking. Here I am. I'm back. Okay, so I mentioned to you last week that when we were in Alaska, we could not find salmon, candied salmon for love nor money. It just wasn't available anywhere. So I decided to make some. And let the sauce get down there a little bit. I don't know how easy you can see this, but that is how it turned out. It's really tasty. In fact, I'll try just a little piece. See how it is today. Mm. Salmon. But what I use for the glaze is some maple syrup, um, like butter flavored syrup, because I'm not a big maple fan actually. Too sweet for my liking. I put some Dijon mustard, some. What else did I put? Oh, I did use some hot sauce. I wouldn't recommend using the like standard buffalo wing sauce because it is a little bit too acidic. Um, but maybe like some sriracha or something. And then I ended up using a bit of, as I said, Dijon mustard and some soy sauce. And you cut it up, you uh, put it in a salt and sugar brine, and you let it sit in that for about 90 minutes. Then you rinse it all off and you put it on a cookie sheet to let it dry. You put it back in the fridge for 2 hours. And then you take it out, you turn your oven on to its lowest setting. For us, that's 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and basically slow cook it. And every 30 minutes or so, you pull it out, you baste it. And I didn't flip it or mess with it at all because it was quite soft. And I think touching it and moving it around too much would have made it really, would have fallen apart. But yeah, I basically just baste it with that mixture. And after 3 hours, once you reach the internal temperature of, I think it was 145, if memory serves me correct, that once it got to that, which was about 3 hours, then good to go, good to eat. So yeah, we tasted it as soon as I made it, and my husband swore me to secrecy. I was sorry, Bob and Doris, Keith and Wendy. I was not allowed to tell you because it really did turn out well. I was impressed. So super, super easy to make. If you're messing around at home, you're Sunday afternoon football, Monday night football, or you're just hanging out, reading or something, it's a really easy thing to make. So, yeah, give it a try. Give it a go. I guess I should have done that. Oh well, moving on. Anyways, I just thought I'd update you guys to tell you what the experience was like and how easy it was. Oh, I missed some comments. Zaddy Vegas, sunny and warm in Calgary. Good to know. Christine said we had 2 inches of rain. Holy moly, which is rare for Denver. Back in the 70s, and sunny for the rest of the week. Good. Yeah, we did have a lot of rain Saturday night, Sunday morning. Like it poured down. We were supposed to get an inch or two of rain as well. And I think we actually did. Excuse me, still have that little tickle in my throat. But it's otherwise been great. Like during the day, it's been lovely and warm and sit outside in the sun. We ended up on a patio yesterday and just enjoying the summer weather. So, well, the fall weather, haha. But gotta love those last few days of sort of summery weather that we get this time of year. So it's very nice. Sargassum. So there's been more news about the sargassum, the thousands and thousands of kilos of it everywhere. And there's some islands in the Caribbean that are getting hit by it. Antigua in particular. Japan actually donated a machine that collects the sargassum. So it is on the water and it collects it somehow. I don't really know how it works. I just read that they had donated it, which I thought was interesting. And of course, that there's many businesses that are turning sargassum somehow into plastic, turning it into bricks to build with. All kinds of really smart things that they're doing with this. The article that I read kept referencing the fact that the sargassum is usually from May till September. And I want to tell you, as somebody who has traveled, for those of you who traveled outside of those dates, I'm sure you will have seen this as well, but those might be the key dates when you're likely to see sargassum. But I'm telling you, from January 1st to the end of December, you can find it at any time, especially if there's a bit of a storm. That tends to blow in the seaweed or the sargassum, and that's when it lands up on the shores. So I've been to Dreams Port Aventuras, which is in the Mayan Riviera, south of Playa del Carmen. I've been there at Christmas before, and the sargassum has been terribly bad. The little private, the natural pool was absolutely covered in sargassum, and unfortunately, I couldn't find any photos of it. Punta Cana, January, that was November 2020, 2019, and January 2020. Sargassum was really bad in Punta Cana. I haven't seen it bad ever in the Caribbean. Bahamas, I was there, that was 2 years ago in September. Didn't see any there. Aruba is so far south that they really, they're kind of outside of the hurricane trail, but technically they could still be hit by hurricanes. It is very, very rare. But Aruba is also very away from where you're going to see any kind of sargassum or seaweed issues. Also very low crime, so it's actually a great place to go. Super duper expensive. And Christine, if you go, you're going to have to suck it up and stay at Aru because they're the best all-inclusives there. But if you stay at the Ru Palace Aruba, it is the old style room. So you have a proper door going into the toilet, although they're doing renovations this year. So I haven't seen what the new rooms look like. I'll have to take a look into that. But that could be an option for you. It's still like the shower with the curtain, which is gross, but at least you have a fully private bathroom area. So put that on your list, potential. You got options there. Let's clear that. Oh, holy smokes. You guys are chatty today, and I missed all of this. I'm too busy talking to myself. Did I see the new all-inclusive resort Ocean Azure Costa Harris by H10? Looks nice. I've been to their family-friendly Ocean Riviera Paradise. What are they doing out there? Honestly, it's like they're just kind of sitting there letting it warm up. This is my gardeners, I told you at the beginning. So loud. No, I haven't seen that property. I don't think I've stayed at any of the H10 hotels before. World's loudest lawnmower coming by, folks. But I'll definitely check into that too. Howard is saying the sargassum was showing up in Playa del Carmen in January when we were there. Not a lot, but starting. Yeah, and it can definitely hit pretty much any time of year. I mean, it's out there, right? It's on the water. It's just that there's more of it during the hurricane season. And because it's hurricane season, it tends to bloat around. Now, I would suggest that because we were going from, was it El Nino? What is it? So the La Nina is colder weather. It changes the wind direction, causes it to be cooler, which means more likelihood of hurricanes because the wind isn't blowing east across the Caribbean, causing the everything just stir up. It causes things to stir up, and it kind of stops them in its place. Whereas when the wind is blowing the other way, it kind of just brings in all the storms. So I suspect that because we didn't really have a strong La Nina this year, that's maybe why we've got so much sargassum, because it's with the temperatures rising, that's what's causing the sargassum to grow so much in the Sargassum Sea, of all things. Yeah, why does it keep doing this? If we do get some cooler weather, then perhaps that'll mitigate it somewhat. So fingers crossed for future years that maybe we'll have a bit less. No smoking in Spain. Okay, hold on. I'm going to mute you guys for a second. Spain has passed a rule basically the same as Mexico. No smoking, no vaping in any public places. And there was basically they're concerned about vulnerable people being exposed to secondhand smoke, and also the prevalence of kids that are starting to vape these days. I read a study that said in the UK, like 35% of kids aged 11 to 15 admitted that they frequently vaped. Like, to me, that's a bit concerning. I mean, call it what you like. I don't, there's no, there has been concrete studies that have shown that, you're inhaling stuff and it can cause issues. But kids, like, the kids should be staying away from that stuff. Go read a book, go play video games. What's Howard saying? Been to Riviera Paradise. It was okay. Oh, we love the Ocean Maya Royale. Okay. And that's the Ocean Maya Royale is right by what used to be Secrets Capri, and that's now Secrets Capri, Hyatt Zilara Riviera Maya. Tried the Ocean Coral Turquesa. Yeah. And Ocean El Faro in the Dominican. The only one I really liked was Ocean Maya. Interesting. The Ocean Coral Turquesa, I think that was the one which was kind of neat. It had like a late night burger and pizza place. So it sort of caters to a younger crowd. And so if you went into Playa del Carmen, which is fairly close, to go to Cocobongo or something, you came back at 2 a.m. and you were peckish, you want a snack on something, then they had a pizza burger place where you could grab a late night snack. So always good to get a little greasy food in your belly after you had a night of didn't mean to do that. After you had a night of boozing it up and dancing. So yeah, so Spain, they're it's a bit of controversy around this because there's a lot of the hotels and tourism folks that are saying that this is going to cause an impact on tourism, going to decrease tourism because there's a lot of people that go to Spain that like smoking. I don't know. Let me know what let me know what you guys think. Like personally, that made me think, oh, okay, well, Spain for the win. I would. So now the whole thing is people are looking at, they want to go somewhere sunny and warm. Do you go to Spain or do you go to Portugal? If you're a smoker, I guess that's a no brainer. You're going to Portugal. If you are a non-smoker and you don't necessarily want to smell or be around secondhand smoke, Spain for the win. But let me know what you think. The burger place is Route 66. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Oh, Howard's saying they had a bowling alley at Coral Turquesa with canned beer. We don't often stay at resorts that don't have canned beer. For me, that takes the resort down a level. I mean, it's fine. You're going to have well drinks and stuff like that. But similar to it having, whether it's got name brand alcohol or you're drinking the tequila out of the blue with the blue label, whatever it is, local brand. I think that if the resort only has draft beer, then that to me is like drinking the no name alcohol liquor. So we always pretty much try to stay at a hotel that's got canned beer. Christine saying the new property looks really nice. It's supposed to be family friendly, but they pivoted it and made it adults only at the last minute. Well, I'm gonna have to check that out. Oh, yeah. I support banning public smoking, and I'm a former smoker. Interesting. Most have cans, but they give you draft at most if you don't ask. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. It's certainly way cheaper for them if they can just give you draft beer, for sure. And I mean, some of the resorts were even doing like Hyatt Ziva, Riviera Maya. They had seltzers, like hard seltzers. So it was like a vodka soda mix, different flavors and stuff. So I thought that was really cool. Um, but yeah, so this whole smoking thing, I don't know. Like I said, to me, that makes me. I mean, I've actually been to Spain before, but that makes me want to go back for sure. Yeah, that new Oceans Resort is going to be a step up from their current properties. Yeah, I'm going to have to check into this. So it's unfortunate because I don't think like it takes forever after the show is finished or after the broadcast is finished. It takes forever for and the comments to show up, and it usually doesn't really show them. Oh, I just saw a button here. I could just have these automatically show on the stream. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, okay, well that's interesting. Um, yeah, White Claw. That was the canned seltzer that they had. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to check into this resort because obviously there's a lot of people taking a look at it. So maybe this weekend I'll do a couple of videos about these new resorts and share that info. But let me know, what do you think? Like, Tammy said, her husband wouldn't be interested in going to Spain, but I think it's a selling point. Interesting though for any of the big concerts and sporting events. Like, how exactly is that going to work? Oh, that was the other thing I was going to share with you guys. Okay, we're moving on. I'll talk about that in a second. Okay, WestJet. So this has got me fuming. So we're trying to book a trip to England and South Africa. and I'm trying to book it using a companion fare. So wanted to book premium economy with WestJet. Business class is up here for price, economy is down here for price, premium's sort of in the middle. But with the companion voucher, you pay $400 plus taxes, and you can basically get the second seat for $400 round trip instead of paying the existing higher rates. However, and this is where it gets tricky, the $400 covers the base fare on the flight. And as we know, you have your base fare and then you have taxes. Not a lot else. And with the taxes and fees, that's where you have things like your airport improvement fees, any kind of passenger duties or fees, that kind of thing. So I was pulling this up. So this is based on 2 people. And you can see, so like up here, we've got the basic fare, the base fare, and something called the random ATC, which is, what are they calling it? Air traffic charges or something. Not air traffic control. This is like just fees. And then down here, you've got all the other fees. So I'll make this a little bit bigger because this is what I want to show you. So for a 10-hour flight to England, they're saying that the base fare round trip is $400. That's $200 per person because this is based on 2 people. $400. Let's call it $200. $200 per person is the base fare. And then they've got random other choice charges, which amount to $1,100 per person. There's no way that anyone would ever reach tier 2 in terms of loyalty based on going a certain amount of miles and that kind of thing. It's, oh, here they come with the blowers. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Can you guys even hear this? I'm curious. Maybe with these it's helping. I don't know. Companion vouchers and not a scam. Saves you next to nothing. Tammy's saying it's a scam. You know what? So here's the thing. Ironically, I have used my companion vouchers every year, and we have had huge savings. My issue is that they have changed the structure of the charges. Now, WestJet purchased Sunwing, and I don't know if that's you just have to laugh, right? Like he's literally standing outside the window. Okay. Okay, Christine's saying she can't hear. Oh, she can hear it. You can hear it. Yeah, well, he's literally standing 6 feet away from me. Honestly. And Howard, I'll go back to your comment in a second. I could barely even hear myself in here. Yeah. Why today? Why now? Anyways, so my issue is that they've changed the way they do the base fare. Like it should be the base fare is the base fare, and then you have taxes. Don't tell me. And if I was to fly economy, where's my notes? Economy, it breaks down to $69 is what they're saying the base fare is. So you're telling me that you're paying your pilots $100, $150, $200,000 a year, and you're only charging $69 for a 10-hour flight from here to London, England. Give me a break. And they're not. The round trip cost, as you could see on there, the round trip cost right here, $3,700. So, and yes, there's some hefty fees. Flying into London Heathrow is one of the most expensive airports to fly into, but come on, that's just garbage. So I'm calling them out on that. I don't even know A, you're not going to make it to any next levels of qualification. B, you're never going to be able to use the stupid companion fare. And again, ironically, next month for the trip to Cancun, what is he going to stand here again? Yep. I just don't know. Oh man. Yeah, and they raised the fees. Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah. And to be clear, we have gardeners because we both have very, very bad allergies. So it's not that we're just being lazy, but it's just it affects us for like 2 days afterwards. So we let them do it. Anyways, so yeah, I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed, only because, like I said, they never used to have this ridiculous breakdown on the base fare. And like I said, I've used my companion voucher for the trip to Cancun next month. So it is still possible in some ways, but it seems to me like this is going to be the trend, unless, as if you're a Canadian, got to speak up. Apparently, if you go onto the WestJet.com site and you post feedback on there, they actually do read it. So I encourage you, as a fellow Canadian, to express your feelings on this. Oh, when will it end? And they, they raise their fees. Why wouldn't they? Yeah, well, fair enough. Can you hear the floor? Okay, at least you can hear me fine. Goodness me. Anyway, so that's my little rant for the day, for the moment. It's just really frustrating when it's saying like you can't use your fare for this. So, you're going to spend money when you travel. It is what it is. I just hate spending more money than I have to, and I really feel like this is unfair that they've changed it to be structured this way. But let's just say the question. Yeah. I mean, I used to be a shareholder when they were publicly traded. So I've always loved WestJet. I thought they were fabulous, but things are changing and they're not, in my opinion, they're really not moving in the right direction. But anyways, for all of you Americans watching, thank you for indulging my little rant. But yeah, but they're not the only ones that are going to be doing this. So it's just something, keep an eye on it. If you are trying to be loyal to one particular brand, to get into more freebies, to get into a better loyalty plan, to raise your tier status, then I feel like I'm shouting over these guys. If you're trying to do that, you want to make sure that it's achievable. And from what I can see, it looks like getting to the next tier of anything with WestJet is no longer possible. So I wanted to tangent here for a second, and we'll take that. Where's the other thing? There we go. Take that down. Okay, so I wanted to tangent on something here. So I was looking at an article, and I was looking at it this morning, and I was thinking, oh yeah, I got to share this with you guys. This will be quite interesting. And sure enough, didn't even think about it afterwards. Now, can I easily find it? So basically, it was an infographic. No, I don't even know where it was. The silence has returned. Excellent. It was an infographic, and it was basically showing the numbers of hotel rooms in each of the cities for the upcoming World Cup versus the size of the stadiums. And it was really quite interesting when you look at the stadium capacity of what they're expecting to fill by comparison to the number of hotel rooms that a city has. So, for example, I wish I could find it. I don't even remember where I was flipping through so many things today. But basically, it was saying like for Vancouver, our stadium is, I think, 55,000 roughly. Yet we have 13,000 hotel rooms that are available. So, not a lot. In Toronto, their stadium only has a capacity of 45,000, which I don't understand because it's a larger city than us. But anyways, smaller stadium, but they have, I think, more than twice as many hotel rooms. Anyways, I'm going to put that together for next week, and I'll share it with you in a visual way instead of sort of a random me trying to remember the numbers. But it was quite interesting, and suffice it, if you are planning to go to any of the World Cup games or to go to any of those cities in June or July of next year, if you haven't booked it yet, you need to get on that right away because, for example, in Vancouver, especially if you're coming in for an Alaska cruise, the space is going to be so limited. I don't even know what people are going to do. So that's going to be tough. So we shall see. Anyways, going back on track. My phone's ringing. Okay, so here's a question to you again, another more controversy. If you oh, how did I miss that comment? It's a monopoly. Yeah, it kind of is. Kind of is. I mean, we lost a lot of we lost some airline capacity on the West Coast, that's for sure. So it's kind of frustrating. I mean, it'd be like anybody who lives on the West Coast of the US if they lost Alaska Airlines. Um, it's pretty major because you just don't have that service with everybody else. So, okay, so if you prepay for a seat, so you go in, you take a look at the seating configuration on a plane, and most people don't consciously choose the middle seat. We used to like doing an aisle and a window seat, but then you have the rando person in the middle. So then you could book an aisle and a window, or you could have somebody, oh, so you could book an aisle and a window. And then if somebody wants to sit in the middle, but you want to sit side by side, then one of you could give up your seat and sit in the middle, which is fine. What we've learned to do is we basically always take the 2 aisle seats, or we book where it's there's a 2-seat configuration. But if you specifically book, like if you're flying into the Bahamas, you've got to have a window seat. I mean, um, it's almost the equivalent of an excursion, seeing that beautiful blue water and the little islands as you're flying over top. It's amazing to see. Um, and you've chosen that seat for a reason. But then if somebody like a mom comes and sits in the seat beside you and dad is with the kid in the row behind you, but then the kid's moaning and saying that they wanna sit beside mommy, so would you mind switching? And maybe so maybe you've got, like, it's a 2-3-2 config. You're in the window seat, and the kid's complaining because he wants to sit beside mommy. So should you then take the middle seat, like, or the middle aisle seats? You've paid for your seat. I don't know, what would you do? Would you give up your seat just to appease the child? Or would you say, "No, heck, I paid for this." So, um, especially if it's somebody who waited until they got to the airport to have their seats assigned. I don't really have a lot of, sympathy when it comes to that. Um Yeah. Christine saying, "I sail from Seattle the week of the Cup. I booked my hotel already." Good, good, good. Had to get a room in Bellevue. Oh, otherwise there's nothing in Seattle. Well, yeah, and you got to watch about traffic jams as well, because Bellevue is a ways out. Um, but what can you do, right? Like, you need to stay somewhere. Um, well, I'm glad you got a hotel. That's that's the most important thing. And I suppose you could always keep an eye on availability. and see if anything else does open up that's reasonably priced. That's always an option. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious, like, what would you guys do? Would you give up your seat or not? I've done it before when I was seated at the sort of back of the plane and somebody wanted to sit beside each other. Pro tip, if you're on a flight where you have to pay for your drinks, if you hear somebody who's, upset or whatever, or wants to sit closer to their partner, and that means you could give up your seat for them. If it means nothing to you, I would recommend doing it, because the flight attendants will be aware of this. You've just taken care of a situation for them. I've had my beers or a drink comped so many times just by doing that one little trick. I mean, it's, or helping somebody out with their bags, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's something to think about. But I don't know. If I've paid specifically for it's different if you've paid for a seat because you just don't want to end up with a middle seat. But if you specifically chosen a window seat, you've chosen it because you want to look outside. So in that case, I would never. Yeah. Christine saying, yeah, never give up a seat. Okay, fair enough. Lack of planning does not constitute an emergency on my part. I love that saying. I love that. In fact, I have that on my wall somewhere. Einstein, I believe. Yeah, love that saying. Yeah, so, okay, well, I'm going to get that hotel infographic set for you guys for next week to share that. It's quite informative. I thought it was really interesting to see, especially in some of the places where they've got massive, like a lot of these games are going to be in the US. I think there's, I think, 12 host cities in the US. And some of them have massive, massive stadiums because, football, right? Huge. And yet their hotel capacity is like a sixth of the size. So it's going to be interesting. Like I fully anticipate issues. And I suppose when they say hotel capacity, they're not factoring in things like Airbnb. Now here in Vancouver, there's a lot of restrictions on that because of our housing crisis. So we lost a lot of our Airbnbs out here. So that may have to be at least temporarily changed for next year, just so that we have places for people to sleep and stay. Like, something's got to give. So I don't know. But it'd be interesting to share that with you guys. See what you think of that. So thanks for joining me this week. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Doesn't cost anything, doesn't hurt. And it's the gift that keeps on giving because it really helps out the channel. And it doesn't cost anything, so can't go wrong with that. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Hope great weekend. Hope you get some great weather and get to enjoy the sun for a little bit longer while we have it. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next Wednesday.